In the stillness of the night, when every shadow could be a specter and every sound a whisper from the unknown, we bring you tales that are as real as they are terrifying. Welcome to Scarier Things, where reality intertwines with the inexplicable. Today, we delve into the chilling narratives of night intrusion at Miranda's pool party, where laughter turned into screams. The kayak stalker by the creek, a tranquil journey turned nightmare. And midnight menace in Montana woods, where nature's silence hid a lurking terror. Prepare to be gripped by fear, for these are not just stories, they are harrowing encounters with the eerie and the uncanny. So hold your breath, keep your eyes wide open, because the world of Scarier Things is about to reveal the spine-chilling side of reality. First story, night intrusion at Miranda's pool party. I'm an 18-year-old about to start college in September. Last July, my friend Miranda threw a pool party at her place, sort of a graduation celebration since her parents were away. Her house is a popular hangout spot, and she invited around 100 people from our grade. The crowd swelled to about 150 at the peak of the gathering. I, along with my friend Jonah, arrived early to lend a hand. As the celebration began, the setting transitioned from the indoor space to Miranda's expansive backyard, complete with a pool. Some guests took a dip, while others opted for an impromptu swim in their underwear. Many simply hung out around the pool. The party reached a point where it was evident that unfamiliar faces were showing up, seemingly brought by others. Miranda got frustrated, explicitly stating she didn't want random people crashing the party without connections to our school. Despite her efforts, the influx continued. Around 1 a.m., the police arrived due to numerous noise complaints from neighbors. The party had to be shut down, and almost everyone was asked to leave. A small group of close friends, consisting of Miranda, some girlfriends, Jonah, and myself, remained behind to assist with the cleanup. By 3 a.m., only 4 of us remained, moving indoors to escape the heat. As we were chilling in the living room, we heard a distinct sound from upstairs. Silence fell over us, and Miranda was the first to inquire about the noise. Jonah and I teased her about a potential intruder in her room. Reluctantly, she asked us to check it out. We ventured upstairs, first to Miranda's room, finding it empty. Then, in the guest room, we discovered our friend Steve passed out. We informed Miranda about Steve, and she seemed relieved. The peculiar noise from upstairs wasn't explained by Steve being asleep in bed, but in our exhausted state, we didn't dwell on it. Eventually, Miranda and her friend Mel went to sleep in her room. Jonah dozed off on the couch, and I took refuge in her parents' bed. Sometime later, screams echoed from the adjacent room, initially dismissed as playful banter. Soon, it became evident the screams were genuine. I rushed to Miranda's room and opened the door to find the girls huddled in fear. In the opposite corner, a tall figure stood on the other side of the bed. The girls ran as I yelled at them to flee. Steve, awakened by the commotion, joined us as the girls rushed downstairs, claiming the man had touched their feet. Regrettably, the 3 of us didn't attempt to overpower the intruder. We evacuated the house, and one of us called the police while waiting at the neighbors' houses, possibly the same neighbors who had complained about the party. The man didn't exit through the front door, and the police, after searching the house, couldn't find him, suggesting he left through the back. None of us recognized the intruder, speculating that he might have been an older acquaintance of Miranda who sneaked in during the chaos of the party, expecting her to be alone afterward. It's a chilling incident, and whether we could have confronted him remains unknown, considering the uncertainty of his potential armament. Second story, the kayak stalker by the creek. There's a serene and secluded creek not far from my house, and I enjoy kayaking there on weekends during the summer. One particular weekend, the weather was perfect, and I set out for my usual solo paddle. It's rare to see anyone else on this creek, which suits my reserved nature. As I parked my car in the gravel lot off the road, I noticed another car arriving, an unusual sight. About 20 minutes into my kayaking journey, a man emerged from the woods ahead, blocking my path. He waved, smiled, and greeted me, expecting a chat. Though his smile felt off, I stopped paddling and exchanged pleasantries. Uncomfortable with the awkward silence that followed, I commented on the beautiful day. His conversation skills were lacking, and I wanted to move on. So I fabricated being from up north, just visiting. Trying to break free, I wished him a great day and continued downstream. What happened next caught me completely off guard. I heard a snap behind me and turned to find the man hiding behind trees, seemingly following me. The discomfort grew, and I feared confronting him. Instead, I pretended not to notice and kept kayaking. Occasionally side-glancing, I confirmed he was still tailing me. The lack of cell reception prevented me from seeking help, so I decided to confront him at my launch point, threatening to call the police. I lifted my phone, pretending to call the authorities, and the man retreated deeper into the woods. I swiftly turned around, kayaking back as fast as possible, constantly checking over my shoulder. Reaching safety, I examined my surroundings before heading to my car. The other car in the lot was still there, but a disturbing discovery awaited me. Broken glass near the back of my car revealed a shattered back passenger side window. I stayed hidden in the woods, checking for cell reception, and successfully calling 911. Waiting for the police felt agonizingly long, but when they arrived, I pointed to my car. 2 officers approached and discovered the man waiting in the backseat, intending to ambush me when I returned. Seeing him arrested was immensely satisfying. His previous smile had vanished, and as he was taken away, he avoided making eye contact. I couldn't believe his audacity, thinking I wouldn't notice the shattered glass, and I felt relieved that his plans had been thwarted. Third story, Midnight Menace in Montana Woods. Every summer, my friends and I embark on a camping trip to a new location, a cherished tradition we've upheld for years. On one occasion, we decided to explore a hiking trail in West Glacier, Montana. With my friend Luke being a photographer, he brought along his camera equipment to capture the breathtaking nature shots. The initial day involved lots of hiking and exploring, and the first night at the campsite unfolded without any unusual incidents. We had 2 tents. I was alone in mine, while the other 2 friends shared theirs. The following day, we engaged in activities like fishing at a nearby river, but nothing too noteworthy. However, it was the second night that took a terrifying turn. After putting out the fire, we retired to our respective tents, and just as we were about to fall asleep, we heard strange sounds emanating from the woods. A person's voice, clearly that of an older woman, grew louder and more distinct every few seconds. I called out to my friends, and we collectively confirmed that someone was out there. The voice, initially resembling an older woman, got closer, repeatedly saying hello. The anxiety grew as footsteps approached our tents, eventually stopping right outside. However, what was once an older woman's voice now seemed like a man attempting to sound feminine. Suddenly, the person began aggressively shaking my tent. Panicking, I screamed, demanding to know what they wanted. My friends joined in, shouting for the intruder to go away. The shaking ceased abruptly, and we heard footsteps hastily retreating. Feeling uneasy, I waited a moment before unzipping my tent and rushing to my friend's tent, seeking safety in numbers. Despite the terrifying encounter, we couldn't determine the intruder's motives. It seemed like a creepy man pretending to be a woman, perhaps trying to catch us off guard. Unsure of his intentions or if he carried a weapon, we decided it was unsafe to leave in the middle of the night. We agreed to depart at sunrise, taking turns keeping watch throughout the night. Matt took the first shift while Luke and I attempted to sleep, haunted by the memory of the earlier incident and occasional sounds of footsteps around our tent. Eventually, exhaustion took over, and I drifted into an uneasy sleep. Morning arrived without any further disturbances, but Luke's discovery of the last 3 pictures on his camera added a disturbing twist to our ordeal. Two pictures were of our campsite in the dark, and the third showed all three of us asleep inside our tent. Nothing was stolen, and we hadn't been physically harmed, but the invasion of our privacy left us deeply disturbed. Some unknown individual had lurked in the woods, targeting our campsite, snooping through our belongings, sneaking into our tent, and capturing a picture of us, likely to incite fear. It remains the most unsettling experience any of us have ever encountered in the great outdoors.